Woo! Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Punctuality, folks. Punctuality. One thing that has remained the common denominator, one thing that has remained consistent regardless of the jobs I've had, regardless of the meetings I've scheduled, virtual or in person, it's all punctuality. I make it a point to be punctual in everything I do, and I would love to take all of the credit for this thing. However, it is not just me. It is a mindset. It is something that was placed inside of me when I was a freshman in college. Actually, before I became a freshman in college, but you know, just the legendary coaches that I had the luxury of playing for that made sure that we were not late, regardless of how much you played on the field, regardless of what you accomplished on the field, what accolades you had, how great people thought you were, how many compliments you got, how great people were telling you were, whatever, how swell your head was, whatever you were doing when actual practice started, whether you were a part of the game plan or not, if your ass wasn't punctual, you was getting an ass chewing. Let me tell you, an ass chewing. And I'm pretty sure I've told this story in the past, but I want to retell it because it comes up over and over and over again. All right, so this past week, for those of you who don't know, I teach at a charter school out here in West Palm Beach named the Center for Creative Education. And one of my fellow teachers, my fellow colleagues, she made the observation this week, like, man, you know, I've noticed whole year has gone by, you know, because we're towards the end of the school year now. Whole year has gone by and you are never late. She made the same observation that a previous employer made when I was at a different center, and before I even got into education, when I was a trainer and, you know, working in the fitness industry. That was another observation that every single person that has ever hired me or worked with me or ever scheduled a meeting with me will tell you the same thing. You are always punctual. You're always punctual, and I'll tell you why. All right. When I was a freshman at Carson Newman College, the small Division II school, back when, you know, the late Coach Sparks, we had the late Coach Sparks as the head coach, and the late Carl Torbush was my position coach, all right, my linebackers coach. We had something called Eagle Time. They implemented something called Eagle Time, all right? Eagle Time meant 5 minutes early. Now, it's one thing to say these things, to come up with these gimmicky tactics, you know, because the nickname is the Eagles, Eagle Time, 5 minutes. It's one thing to just come up with the tactic. It's another thing to actually hold your players accountable for this thing, to make sure they are arriving in everything we do 5 minutes early. And they actually were. They were very strict. They were very strict when it came to enforcing that Eagle Time, that 5 minutes early. Hold on, let me cross the street real quick. They were very strict in enforcing Eagle Time, right? So they had a time, it was like I said, it was my freshman year in college. I had a roommate who was also from Maryland. His name was Sly. We called him Sly-Do. And so we set our alarms and we planned on getting to our meeting early. Again, that's the one thing when you transition in from high school to college, you can't just be there for practice. You always got to be there, you know, about an hour or so early for whatever meeting you're gonna have to go over the film. It's not just show up to practice and then you're good. It's like you got to schedule out the time, right? Schedule out the time to make sure you're getting there for your meetings before practice, all right? So what happened was we got to the meeting. This was a meeting before practice. We got to the meeting 2 minutes early. I think we got there 2 minutes early, and we get there and everyone's already sitting down. They already started their film. You know, they're already doing everything. What's up, brother? All right. Yeah, they're already doing everything. And again, we're thinking we're early. We're thinking we're early because we're there 2 minutes early. And Coach Torbush looks at me. He looks at me and Sly-Do. He goes, "Cruickshank, is that you? What the hell are you doing late?" Me and Sly-Do looked at each other like, wait a minute, we're not actually on time. We're not actually late. The meeting was supposed to start like 3 o'clock and we get there like 2:58 or whatever. And we're looking at it like, wait a minute, no, we're not actually late, right? So I remember that time, and then it was that night, it was either that night or later on that day, in which Sly-Do, he was on the phone, I guess with one of his friends from back home or whatever. And he goes, "Yo, check this out. We actually got yelled at for not being early enough to a meeting, all right?" And one of the things that used to really aggravate me when I worked in fitness, when I was a trainer at 9 Rounders. I had a former colleague who's now, I don't even feel like putting his name out there right now because it'll take me on a different, it's gonna take me down a different story path. But anyway, I had a colleague who was late every single day. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Was constantly late and never actually disciplined by the owner. And it's no surprise that the gym has actually recently had to close its doors. It's gone out of business because of the lack of enforcement from an owner and all of that. But again, like I said, I won't go down that path right now. But anyway, I remember I would always tell that story. I'd always tell that story about how, I had a coach who would, I remember getting yelled at for not being early enough, and it's just mind-boggling to me how somebody can be late consistently. Like, it's one thing, all right, once a month or once in a while where you're late, something comes up, life happens, but to be consistently late every single day and not just genuinely not give a fuck about anything but himself, just show up to train certain people and never actually being disciplined about it. I would vent about that when he was supposed to be there on time because, again, I'd be the first one there, that nobody would be there to relieve me so I can go get some breakfast or, get some food or whatever, because the morning rush would die down and I would love to go get some food before it picked back up or whatever. So I was venting to one of the members about it, and she was a former basketball player. She was telling me, she goes, look, not everybody had that coach. Not everybody had that coach who, again, enforced these things, made it a habit, made it something in you as young to say, hey, look, be respectful of people's time when you're showing up in the world. Excuse me. When you're showing up in the world, you have to learn to be punctual. And all these things go into how people read you and how people look at you, and all of that goes into what kind of reputation, what you represent when you come across people's paths. Because again, got news for you, people will come in and out of your life. There's people that are coming in and out of your life for certain seasons. It's your reputation, it's what you leave behind that they're gonna remember. And are you gonna be remembered as somebody that actually showed up on time and did what they can in whatever situation they were in? Or are you gonna be this jackass who just shows up when he feels like it and never gets disciplined for it and all that kind of stuff, right? So to close out the story, to close out it all, make sure you understand the importance of coaching. Make sure you understand the importance of being punctual. And you as coaches, make sure you understand the importance of enforcing punctuality in your players or in your students or in your kids and raising your kids and all that kind of stuff, right? Main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, makeyourmove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.